All right. Hi, I'm your host, Toni, and this is
Kimona, the co-host.
I want you all to like, subscribe, and share. The links are below, and this is available on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So come on, make sure y'all like it, subscribe, and share it. Thanks. Hello, welcome to Bougie Bayouwitches podcast. I'm Toni, I'm the host, and this is
Myra.
This is my guest for today, and
Kimona, the co-host.
yeah, so today on our topic, we're going to be talking about what are some ways to protect your peace. And this is a topic that I love, but also my co-host Mona loves because she deals with this a lot with her healing and her services. So I'm going to let her go ahead and get started.
All the time. But no, thank you so much for the introduction.
Welcome.
Ways that I choose to protect my peace is just staying in a high vibrational space. No, every day I'm not, just this old positive person. I wake up every morning, chipper. No, I mean, I'm human just like the next, but throughout the day, it's like I stay talking to myself. I stay, repeating affirmations in my head, whether I'm writing them down or I'm, just speaking them out loud or just saying them over in my head. I just choose, to wake up every single day and be better than the next day.
Yes.
I just choose to do things differently every single day. So, I just constantly stay talking to myself and, I choose not to engage in a lot of negative conversations. Yes, I will call people and because it is actually, my business where, I mentor people or do readings on people, I experience a lot of negative energy, but also I know how to block energy. I just recently learned how to do that because before I was taking on a lot of negative energy and it will weigh heavy on me because I'm an empath. So therefore I feel everything that people feel, like every single thing from the hurt, the pain, the happiness, the joy. I feel every single thing. So, I constantly have to stay talking to myself. I constantly have to, I take 2-3 spiritual baths a day. It just depends on who I'm around, what I'm having to deal with, who I'm talking to. So, there's multiple ways that people can protect their peace. But I just advise everybody, just stay in a positive state of mind, your mindset. That's the most important thing. Growing up, we hear a lot of, negative stuff. Not a lot, but we were around a lot of negative people. At least I was. I would hear my family members say, "Oh, I'm so broke. I'm so this and I'm so that." Just a lot of negativity. And now that I'm older, I'm just like if I hear somebody say, "I'm broke," I'm like, stop saying that.
Yes.
Please stop saying that. Just say that you're low on funds. Don't say that you're broke because you're speaking those words
into existence.
And words are spelled
exactly.
So you can curse your own self.
Exactly. You can curse your own self when you say that you broke. You may not have the amount of money that you need at the moment, but you're not broke. I mean, nobody's broke. Even if you have like a zero balance in you're not broke. You just low on funds right now.
Right.
So it's just certain things that you say that you do to that is very important. Another way I protect my peace is just by not hanging around certain people.
Yes.
Just
I
stay in a hermit mode. I stay in solitude. I stay in hermit mode. That's just me. That's just works. It's working for me these days.
And I gotta agree with you on that because when I did come upon to get deeper in spirituality, I noticed a lot of people that were really negative that I used to hang around, communicate, and talk to. I just started distancing from them, and I noticed the universe just started removing them out my life. It's like I got to the point to where I really had nobody to communicate and talk to. And like you said, I was in that hermit mode. I was to myself. I was like just going to do what I had to do, come straight back home, and I was really like homebody. But I loved it because it was peace. I wasn't getting upset or mad because I gave somebody some advice and they wasn't listening and they coming back to me with the same old story. And I'm like, I just told you what to do.
Yeah.
So I love it. You got to put yourself and your peace and your sanity first because if you don't, who else will?
And that's true. That is true. I still give people advice these days, but I learned that just because a person asks you for advice, that doesn't mean that they're going to accept
Exactly.
it. So you can't get upset or, feel away if they don't accept it. You can just tell them, just like our parents. They could just tell you, hey, come on, don't do that. And it's up to you if you're going to do it or not.
Yeah.
I can give you advice all day, especially if it's something that I have experienced. I can give you advice all day, but at the end of the day, a person is going to do what they want to do, and they have consequences to face, whether they choose to do the right thing or the wrong thing. But, I just, being a mentor, I just tell people things that I have experienced, because I have experienced a lot, in my life. So therefore, I'm able to help people in certain areas.
Right.
But, I don't, if they listen, they do. They don't,
It's not.
it's not on me, at least I tried.
Yeah. I did have a question for you, Kamana. Talking when you first started talking about how you protect yourself. Now, there's a lot of people that don't know how to do that versus empaths, but they're not really aware that they're empaths. And I know for myself, when I first started, it could be very overwhelming whenever you start feeling people and you're just like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And then you start becoming sad, or you start becoming like mad, or you're like, what are maybe one tip or two tips that you can give them, once they're out and they're not comfortable at a family gathering or whatever it is? What's something that you might do while you're in that situation to kind of like push that negative energy away from you?
Well, for myself, I have, sometimes I have to step away.
Just step
I
away.
have to step away to regain, my
Recharge.
sense of, I have to step away to regain, my focus, because, sometimes like family gathering, is an example. Sometimes, you hear other family members constantly just talking about each other. Just, oh, why she got this on, why she's doing that, or, and that's just so negative. Like, and especially if you don't want to engage in something like that, I have found myself stepping away. I keep like Palo Santos on me, something to, uplift me, because when you're around such a negative environment, it tends to weigh on you, especially being an empath. So I'll step away, say a prayer, and I'll go back. Or sometimes I may not even go back, but I also find that wrapping my head.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't feel as much, from me not wrapping my head, or when I do. I notice a difference. When my head is unwrapped and I'm out in public,
You gotta protect that crown.
I
exactly.
feel more. I feel more.
I was gonna say, can you elaborate to people, like, why do we wrap our heads? Why do we have to have
To block a lot of those feelings, because being an empath, you feel it.
Yes.
And wrapping your head, it kind of helps block, it stops. It's a layer of protection over your crown.
Exactly.
And also, with covering your head too, it also stops those evil and negative entities and spirits from getting into your crown.
Yes.
So that's the main reason I do it. Because
Yes.
I have to protect myself when I'm around a bunch of different people, and I don't know if they cleanse themselves, if they got bad energies and spirits attached to them. So that's
Exactly.
Why.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't wrap my head as much as I need to. And in the beginning, before I learned to block certain energies, I wonder, like, why when I get home, I feel a certain way. Like, why am I so drained? Why am I so tired? But that was the reason, because, when you are in public, I'm not saying every person has bad spirits on them.
Right.
But, you do tend to be around people that, want to tell you their problems. I have that happen so much, because I am, an empath.
They
and, they gravitate towards me.
No matter what.
I have people walking up to me in the grocery stores. Ma'am, can I ask you a question? And, my husband did this, or my wife said, like, I have people walking up to me all the time, just asking me questions. And, it's because, of my energy, and they feel comfortable. If, they feel comfortable with talking to me.
Right.
But, I learned to kind of separate the negative and the positive. Because, not everybody's just going to have just the best energy in the world.
Right.
Heck, I don't even have the best
Nobody.
energy in the world, but
Yeah, you know, we human. You know, just
We
because
human.
you know I consider
We're
myself a
human.
witch, don't mean like my energy is gonna always be on top. You know, sometimes I might take in a little too much negative energy and be like, okay, hold on, let me go cleanse myself and get my frankincense and myrrh, or let me take me a spiritual bath. But yes, we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, we're cleansing ourselves, we're also
I'm an incense
recharging
burner,
and
like-
all of that.
You're an
I think
incense burner.
I go through like a pack of. I even had like a neighbor tell me one time, "Oh, your dog smells like an incense." I'm like, "No, puppy." It was like even a puppy smelled like an incense. I was like, "Ooh."
Wow.
Poor Luna. She picked up. I got my baby going around smelling like
Hey, but she's
incense. But no, I'm a
protected,
firm
okay?
believer. Like you
Yes.
have to protect yourself. You know, everybody find different ways, whether you burn
Yeah.
incense, whether you do spiritual baths daily,
Yes.
whether you return to senders, you know, say you return to sender. Like there is
That's
so
a good point you made. Not to cut you off or anything, but I do have this candle called "Shut the F Up,"
I love it.
and I burn this candle.
get that candle, everybody. Spiritual elite candles. Like it works. We gonna link it below, so make sure you purchase that candle because they will shut.
that person up. But I have to burn that every new moon. It's just like a little ritual I do. I burn my "Shut the F Up" candle,
Yeah.
and I notice my phone line get very quiet. But also, I like to do that. I like to also do my spiritual cleansing and protection bath. That's just ways.
How often do you
that
do baths?
I try to do my baths once a week, depending on
Same.
how heavy the energy is.
Same.
Because like a lot of times when I go to my store, I'll be like, oh my God, let me cleanse the store. I feel this energy, you know? So I'll go cleanse the whole store and I'll cleanse myself and I'll feel so much better. So I do
find-
try to cleanse my store once a week, as well as try to take
Right.
spiritual baths and stuff. And I do
Right.
have a cleansing candle too. So if I don't feel like walking around and cleansing the house, I'll just put on my cleansing candle.
I find myself, you know, these days because I do readings and I, you know, interact with so many different people
Yes.
that have so many different energies. I find myself, you know, taking at least 2 baths a day now. It just depends on how many
Wow.
clients that I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the energy, you know, I
Yes.
have to be so heavy. And, you know, I'm the type of person, I try to, you know, it's like, hey, we want to help everybody in a situation. And I'm just like, no, come on, you can't help everybody.
You can.
You're
But,
one
you
person.
know, I'm only one
Ooh.
person. I can give you the advice that Spirit
Yeah.
tells me to tell you, but you know, so I find myself lately I've been taking like 2 baths a day.
I honestly, like with me doing spell work, because yes, I am the one that's into the magic side. I get drained a lot. I have been getting so drained because you know when you're dealing with magic, you're tapping into these people's energy, and sometimes you taking on a whole lot, and you gonna feel it. Because
Yeah.
their body gonna feel like you just done got run over, hit by a car or something, because you're gonna be drained and tired.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to get my selenite sticks, put it around the tub when I'm taking my protection and
That
cleansing
is a
bath.
really good
Or
thing.
I sleep
Yeah.
with my selenite sticks. I put them all around my pillow because I just try to find different ways to charge myself up. And sometimes I have to shut the F up oil, and I'll put that on me because I do include selenite sticks in them, the crystals. And so I'll put that on me and just ask my ancestors to give me the strength to charge me up, and it does definitely work.
Yeah, because I find myself, you know, when I'm doing some of my readings these days, I have like a crystal in my hand, like a
Yes.
black obsidian,
Or I keep it in
just
my
to
chest.
protect, just to protect me, you know, from certain energies. That's another way, you know, you can protect your peace.
Wear crystals.
You wear crystals, you know. I met this one lady a couple years ago. I was in the middle doing a protest, and she was like, she saw my crystals on my arm, and she was like, I got mine's right here on my chest. I was like, oh wow. I didn't know that you can actually wear them, but
Yeah.
she had like a clear like little, and she had them in her bra area, and I was just
I
like,
do,
that
yeah.
is
Yeah, I keep
that
mine in
is
my bra.
a really good idea. And I was like, I'll put a crystal, you know, depending on where I'm going, I'll stick a crystal in my bra every now and again. I will. But I love to wear, you know, my jewelry. I love to wear, like, you know, in my head.
In
My,
your
so
hair.
I like
it's,
to,
it's protection.
I like to keep them in my car. Like when I'm going places and
Yes.
stuff like that, I have a lot of crystals as well as my
Yes.
statues in the car. And I
It
keep
didn't
them
help
with
me. They
and
got
I
me
don't
out
care
of a
what
few
no-
tickets
Look,
recently.
okay? I
Because I done got pulled over a couple
and
times.
I go right around me to somebody else. And I be
No, I
like,
done got pulled over, and they like,
Yeah.
man, we just gonna give you a warning. I was like,
part.
okay. I'm like, you know what? McKinney told me the last time I got pulled over, I think it was like a month ago. He was like, you got pulled over on such and such day at such and such time. And he was like, oh, this officer gave you a warning. He was like, oh, you should be close to being warned out. I said, Mr. Officer, it's just the protection. It's just the protection.
I'm telling you.
And he was like, I'm going to let you go. It really does work. It really does work. You know, when he first approached my car or whatever, he was like, ma'am, did you know you were speeding? I said, yes, sir, I was speeding. You know, I'm not finna lie, because I was.
That's right. Well,
I was trying to get to my destination.
I'm sure we all done broke.
And he told me, he was like, I appreciate you being
here and there.
So.
I know I have, especially going up and down my car.
But and I had just replaced the dream catcher in my truck like the day before, and I know between God's protection and my dream catcher,
and your
of course,
yeah,
it helped me, you know, not to get a fine, have to pay a fine.
I like to like bring in both. I don't know how you ladies feel about like energy work.
Uh-huh.
When saying energy work, I mean like, spirit, please, if it's in my highest good, cleanse this car from the machine, from the transmission, all the way down to the tires, all the way to. I do that. A lot of people don't believe in that.
I actually sage in my car. I use a sage stick and I sage my car. Not often as I should.
I'm kind of scared to do that because them ashes might fall into that leather. But I use the sage spray.
Yeah, I take the, you know, when I'm saging my house, I always start with myself, because you start with yourself. You have to clean yourself first. From my crown to my feet. And then I go in the car and I just, you know, kind of sage around in my car. And the spray, I may try that, because I don't have them ashes trying to fall on that seat, and I'm like, oh no, don't. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I use the spray, especially like if you coming from out the store or coming from somewhere and you feel that heavy energy. I just. So, ladies, do you guys like every time you go out in public and get back into your car? Do y'all use protection? Okay, I think I need to get better with that, because
I try to wear crystals. Or I'll try to come home and cleanse myself. But what I do need to get better at, I'm not going to lie, because I learned my lesson when I felt like I brought something back home with me, was to put on my protection oil when I'm going out in public around people. Because, again, I don't know the different types of energies and spirits and deities that's floating around. And I don't want to bring it back home. Right. So
tell people how, because I know people are watching and like, okay, y'all talking about these sprays, these protection oils. Like, let the people know how they can actually, you know, get those from your own shop, from your shop. Like, let people know how they can purchase these items, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, I talk to people that, you know, that you refer to me, clients or whatever, because I get a lot of referrals, you know, to do readings, and they ask me like, you know, what you recommend for this, and, you know, what do you recommend for that? So tell people how they can purchase these products.
Okay, so how y'all can purchase these products? I do have a metaphysical shop called Spiritual Elite Candle, and also, it's other spiritual shops out here too in the DFW area. But you can just choose and go to whatever spiritual shop. Where you want to go get them online, just go to them. Just go to whatever you feel pulled and drawn to. But you can always get sage spray for your car or for your office, your job. If you don't, you know, want to be walking around with a sage stick or a Palo Santo stick, you can always get the spray and spray it. I always suggest that to my customers that do come into the store. You can also get crystals that you can keep in your car for protection. Because let me tell y'all something. This driving and all these car accidents and things I see going on, you don't understand how many times a person almost ran into me, and somehow the spirit must have got behind there and stopped their vehicle. Because I closed my eyes and I said, oh, they didn't hit me. So I knew, you know, these crystals and my spirits and ancestors up in that car like, oh, no, we need you, honey. They finna hit you for the back.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, keeping crystals, keeping some sage spray, also just wearing crystals on you for protection, and just taking your protection and cleansing baths weekly. If you got to take them every other day.
And just be careful also who you know, hang around, who you talk to, the company that you keep. That right there is a must, a plus.
It is.
The company that you keep, try to not engage into a lot of drama, you know, negative
and stuff like that. Yes.
Negativity, because I noticed, like, since I have pulled away from certain people, certain conversation, it's just like, you know, just blessings on
energy
blessings.
Level go up.
Energy level is high.
Blessings are just drained.
Blessings are just pouring down, and it's just. it's a difference. It's really, you know, I see a difference in my life. So,
and that could even be like family. People, a lot of people think that family is everything, and I learned the hard way that not every family member
and,
that
and
you
I love
have,
my family.
I love mine too.
My
I
family,
love
but
them.
I'm
Sometimes you gotta
so
love them
distant
from a
distance.
Yes.
And
And I've
I'm
learned that.
so distant from a lot of family members
Yes.
because, you know, of just, you know, I can't sit 24/7, 7 days a week, just constantly talking about people. It's from
Yeah.
one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And you know, once you are not in that person's presence, they talking about you as well.
Exactly.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, since I got you know, moved around from all of that stuff, because I used to, you know, participate in the family drama. I did.
Oh, yeah.
I was
didn't?
once a
hasn't?
part of that. But I noticed since I stopped participating and protecting my peace more, it's like, you know, when I'm around a crowd of negativity, you know, I feel away. Like, you know, like, nope, this is not for me. U-turn, go the other way. It's like, you know, I get signs to go the other way, not to be involved in that. So, you know, it's a lot of ways to protect your peace. But we're going to get ready and wrap this up, ladies.
Yes.
And, you know, if you have any questions about, you know, protecting your peace, you know, drop them in the comments.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, you know, check out Spiritual Elite's candle store, oils, protections, candles, like anything that you need on your spiritual journey. You can find it at Spiritual Elite
Herbs,
Candle.
we got crystals, United
Every
Spiritual.
single thing.
But also check out Ascending Goddess, because she does do a lot of
Yes.
healing work and stuff that can also help out
I
with
do.
protecting your peace.
I do
But again,
Reiki work. I do readings, sound bath therapy. You know, anything that, you know, just kind of help you along your journey, you know, just to bring that peace in your life.
All right. Well, like always, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And
Sure you
drop that
comment.
feedback below. We want to hear from y'all. Thank you.
Yes.
See you on next
Bye.
episode.